Jamal Murray's unique story involves some of the wildest and most grueling training programs, which made him resilient to pressure and a bona fide stud on the court.
All been together for the most part. Now it goes, and oh my goodness, what a basket! Jamal Murray, how'd he get that one to go as LeBron?
Now, before we get to that, we need to learn about the mad scientist behind these programs, Jamal's dad, Roger Murray. Number 8, Jamal Murray's early life. Born in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, Jamal Murray was essentially raised to be a professional basketball player. But before we get to some of the wildest and craziest training sessions, we have to get to know the mad scientist behind the training, Murray's dad, Roger. Roger Murray was born in Jamaica and moved to Canada when he was 9 years old. He eventually met the love of his life in Sylvia and got married and had 2 sons. Fun fact, Roger played basketball against former heavyweight champ Lennox Lewis. Now, as for Jamal, his eyes were always on the basketball court despite being raised in the land of hockey. It's almost as if you're born with a pair of skates on your feet when you're a Canadian. But that wasn't the case for Jamal, who doesn't even know how to skate. So does that mean that his Canadian citizenship is revoked? We're joking of course, but Jamal did give hockey a try as he played goalie because that was the position that required the least amount of skating prowess. But Jamal was born to be a basketball player. And just in case he wasn't, his dad did everything in his power to make sure that he became one. Number 7, how he started playing. As a baby, Jamal's dad would place him in a stroller and set him on the sidelines of his pickup games so he could absorb the sights and sounds of the game. As Jamal grew older, his dad placed a portable plastic Fisher-Price hoop nearby so he could shoot around and hit his own game winners while his dad played his games. And this is nothing compared to the grueling sessions that were about to come in Jamal's life. But more on that in a little bit. Whatever his dad did, it worked, because by the time Murray was 6 years old, he was competing in basketball leagues with 10-year-olds. His work ethic was unmatched. In fact, one time Jamal's coach had to confiscate his basketball shoes so he would leave the gym and not overtrain. But 2 hours later, Jamal was back, shooting around barefoot. By the age of 13, Murray was already playing pickup games against high school and college players. And as an 18-year-old, he was left off of the under-19 national junior team roster. But instead of moping around, he competed with the senior team at the 2015 Pan American Games in Toronto and led the team to a huge upset over Team USA in the semifinal 111-108 overtime victory, in which Murray scored 22 points, including 2 3-pointers in overtime. He and Team Canada took home the silver medal after losing to Brazil 86-71 in the final. So it's no wonder one of the best college programs in the world came knocking on Murray's door. Number 6, college year. Kentucky is a legendary college program, partially because it was led by one of the greatest college coaches of all time, John Calipari. And when someone like Calipari wants you, he'll most likely get you. And Murray didn't disappoint. His 20 points per game in college was the most ever by a Kentucky freshman, and the most for any player in Calipari's tenure as head coach. He led the Wildcats to a number 1 ranking early in the season and the SEC title. It was also during his college years that he started the famous bow and arrow 3-point tradition. He credits the idea to his teammate E.J. Floreal, who he saw pretending to shoot a bow and arrow on the bench after Jamal hit a 3 in the game. So the next time Murray hit a 3, he did the celebration back to Floreal. Not only did he get an iconic celebration, but also became known as the Blue Arrow because of it. After his college year was over, Blue Arrow decided to take his talents to the big leagues and declared for the NBA. Number 5, career achievements. Murray was selected 7th overall by the Denver Nuggets in 2016. Since then, he has had quite a unique career. Although it took him a year to earn the starting spot on the Nuggets team, he would go on to have the NBA record for the most points in a playoff series by a Canadian, most points in a single postseason by a Canadian, and most points in a game by a Canadian. Now, of course, most of these figures came during the NBA bubble season, which became Murray's coming out party, as he also had the highest scoring quarter in Game 7 history as he dropped 20 points in the second quarter. Now, during that time, Murray tied the likes of Iverson and Michael Jordan for multiple 50-point games in a playoff series and became the first player since Jordan to have 3 straight 40-point games. At 23 years old, Murray became the second youngest player to score 40 points in a Game 7. and he holds the Nuggets franchise record for the most 40-point games in playoff history and the overall record for the most three-pointers made in Nuggets franchise history. So it is safe to say that the crazy training his dad put him through paid off. But more on that one in a little bit. First, let's take a look at his record-setting contracts. Number 4, NBA contract. Murray came into the league on a 4-year, $14.5 million entry-level contract. Now that is plenty of money, but it is nothing compared to 5-year, $158 million deal that he later signed with the Nuggets. At the time he signed the contract, it was the richest sports contract in history for a Canadian athlete. Now, on top of these incredible deals, Murray also has a shoe contract with New Balance and has worked with other brands like Lyft, Western Union, Beats by Dre, KFC, and Express. Murray is definitely one of the best young scorers in the league and has been getting paid like one too. On top of that, ever since his playoff performance in 2020, his social media following has also blossomed. Number 3, social media presence. Now, before we see his social media numbers, did you know that Jamal didn't even own a phone until his freshman year in Kentucky? His dad wouldn't allow it. In fact, his dad went as far as not letting Jamal even hang out at malls with his friends for too long. But thankfully, Roger Murray no longer forbids his son from using a phone. Otherwise, the 300,000+ people on Murray's Twitter and over 1 million on his Instagram would have been really disappointed. His feed is mainly filled with game highlights and sponsorship deals, but you do get a sense of Murray's interest in these posts, as he often tweets or posts about upcoming MMA cards. 2 of his favorite fighters seem to be Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski. Of course, it's not surprising that he's into MMA, as he grew up a giant Bruce Lee fan and channeled his inner martial artist during his incredibly unique childhood training, which was straight out of a Bruce Lee flick. Number 2, unique training methods. To give you guys a quick overview of what Jamal's childhood training looked like, his dad would make him do push-ups in the snow to increase his pain tolerance, and laps before school where he ran straight uphill and then he ran sideways and backward. After that, Murray took all lefty shots so that he would be ambidextrous, did pull-ups using the crossbar of the local soccer goal in the park. When the outdoor basketball courts were flooded to create makeshift hockey rinks, Roger instructed his son to dribble his ball on a sheet of ice to increase his balance. Heck, he even practiced shooting free throws with a blindfold on. I mean, we told you, this is something straight out of a Bruce Lee film. Now, on top of shooting with a blindfold, his dad would talk trash to him in order to get into his head. So no wonder Murray is one of the best and most clutch free throw shooters in the league. Physical training was one thing. Murray also got plenty of mental reps through meditation. He says that he meditates before every game for about 30 to 40 minutes. He focuses on his breath and can lower his heart rate below 40 beats a minute. Now maybe you're feeling bad for young Jamal, but he has said that he loved all that training with such a passion that it didn't feel like work to him. Plus, it's because of that training that he's made over $100 million in his career. Number 1, his net worth. Jamal Murray has made a lot of money in his career, and he still has plenty of time to make more. On top of that, Murray has already inked several lucrative deals, and if he continues to show off his greatness, it'll just attract more endorsements and sponsorships. So he's likely to at least double his net worth before all is said and done. For now, we would estimate that his net worth is around the $80 to $90 million mark, so it seems like he's cash both on and off of the court. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell beside it so that you're notified the next time we upload a new video. With that being said, you just watched us break down Jamal Murray's unique story and lifestyle. We'll see you next time.